I used to be a high school teacher, so fuck those kids. I quit in the middle of the year like a piece of shit. I don't care. I don't care. I don't respect them as people. I don't like them. Yeah, fuck them. I don't care. Teaching's dumb, man. Teaching's hard. I had to pretend like drugs aren't cool. The coolest things I've ever seen in my life happened because of drugs. One time I saw a kid beat up a security guard in front of other security guards. It's amazing. You know how badass you have to be to make a bunch of grown men go, I ain't fighting that little boy. No, that little boy is strong. No, he got that PCB strength. He's really strong. I'll fight him later.
I used to work as a janitor. That was a rough gig. Mopping floors, cleaning bathrooms. I worked at this swanky law office in Midtown. Nobody looked me in the eye, nobody talked to me. I remember one day I was mopping the floor and a businessman slipped. And he goes, Jesus, man, if the floor is wet, you gotta put a sign down. I'm like, I'm mopping in front of you. I am the sign. You know the little guy on the sign doing this? That's me, but in 3D. Oh, boy. The worst part was that my boss chewed me out after. He's like, come on, Mark, you're embarrassing me out there. I'm like, you're embarrassed? I went to college. Let me have this one. Then he'd say stuff to me like, hey, would you learn how to mop? I don't know, Fantasia?
And they try to make you feel bad about working. Like, so many people in LA don't work, and it's weird. But when I first got out there, I was hustling. I had a couple of jobs. I was doing stand-up. I was doing Postmates. I was doing Uber. I was hanging out with a group of girls, one of which I thought was my friend. She wasn't. She was like, so Brandy, her name was Jessica. It sounded like she was fucked up. She was like, so Brandy, what do you do for work? I was like, I do stand-up, I do Postmates, and I drive Uber. And she was like, Uber. And I was like, yeah, Uber, Jessica, what you do? She was like, oh, me? I drive Lyft. I was like, bitch, that's the same thing. Like, that's the same thing. The fuck? Before I moved out there, I lived in Chicago, and I was a social worker. Yeah, I quit 6 years ago. Followed my dreams. I'm gonna tell you, I quit the realest way, too. I quit on some boss fit shit. If you watching this and you work at DHS, what's up? But no, like, I knew I was gonna quit, but a week before I quit, I did like some just real arrogant shit. I do what I want tattooed on the back of my neck. It just wore my hair in a ponytail to work for the rest of the fucking week. They were like, Brandy, can you fax these papers? I was like, nope. Like, it was real bad, but I liked working there, not because they paid me anything, but I liked working there because I used to get hit on a lot because I don't know if you guys have seen social workers, but like, I'm like a bad bitch social worker, so I'm like at the top of the social worker chain. So like, I used to get hit on by my clients, which was weird because it would always be after the interview, which is interesting. Very interesting. You gotta have a lot of confidence to hit on your social worker after the interview. Like, you just told me that you live in an underpass, you haven't had a job, you can't feed you, I know you can't feed me, so like what are we doing? What are we doing? Some of them clients had some swag, you know, like you could feel big dick energy. I don't care if you got a home or not. Like, they was throwing game and I was like, I don't know. But the best pickup line, I was sitting in my office, I was like, today is a good day, Michael. You've been approved for the food stamps and the Obamacare. And he was like, that's cool, Miss Denise. And then he leaned back and he licked his lips. And I was so happy that he licked his lips because he had that white shit in the corner. And I was like, I'm so happy that he did that, because don't you hate when you're talking to somebody and that shit be building up? And you just be looking at it and you like, fuck, you start licking your lips like, or you ain't gonna get it, you just gonna let it sit there, you just gonna foam at the mouth. Okay. Okay.
I love kids so much, though. I want you to know I'm not walking around town looking kids in the face like, you shouldn't be here. You know? I love kids once they have happened. I love all of you. I'd love to be any of your mommies, you know, especially you. Yeah. I used to teach, which you can probably tell by my face, voice, outfit, haircut, and body. I used to teach in the Oakland Public School District, and well, I was an assistant teacher. They wouldn't let me do the whole thing. And one day I was teaching, and the head teacher, the main bitch, you know, she called out sick, hungover, lying. They always are. So they brought in a substitute, and the substitute was very hot, okay? And, like, was I distracted a little bit? Yeah, I was distracted. I mean, we were teaching, but we were, like, laughing. We were, like, flirting, but watching and learning. And something happened, which happens with elementary school children, okay? After lunch, they choose one of two options. They either pass the fuck out or they lose their goddamn minds. And our class chose the latter that day. We lost control. We honestly just lost control. There were just children crying in the corner. There was a fight. There's kids running in the street. And one child, Arthur, the largest child, very much third time's a charm on third grade for old Arthur, you know? Arthur decided to run into the special ed trailer, and I didn't put him in a trailer. Please don't get mad at me for this. And I'm saying special ed because that's what it was, and it was fucked up, and we never should have had that shit. And it's different now, and I'm not using like current compassionate terms like, you know, special needs or like neurodivergent, because this was special ed, and for the young folks in here, it was fucked up. It was like, yes, there are some kids in there that have like severe, you know, like mental disabilities, but also it's just like anything that might be like slightly difficult for the teacher, you're going in that fucking trailer, okay? Diabetes, trailer. Little bit gay, trailer. I'm pretty sure there was a kid in there that just had thick glasses. Like, God forbid a child goes on a family ski trip and comes back with a broken leg. You're in special ed now, dude. You came back with a crutch. If you wanted to keep your class, you should have walked it off, you know? It was fucked up. It was not okay. So Arthur's very mad at me, right? And Arthur decides to run into the special ed trailer into their kitchen and grab a knife. Also don't know why they had knives in the special ed trailer, okay? Again, Oakland Public School District. I don't know what to tell you. He ran in to get the knife and because he was gonna fucking stab me. And I know that because Arthur said, I'm gonna fucking stab you. And I was so proud because we had been working on him using his words and setting intention. So he came back with a knife and I ran. And then we both got called into the principal's office. And I was like, why am I in trouble? I almost got fucking stabbed. So the principal sits us down and she's like a real cunt. And she goes, what happened here today? And Arthur goes, Miss Miller was acting like a slut. And he was so right. I really had been throwing it at this substitute. And I laughed so hard. And then the principal laughed so hard that Arthur never got in any fucking trouble for trying to stab me. So this is what I tell people, like, if you are gonna have children and they're gonna be dumb and bad, make sure they can tell a fucking joke, okay? And that's what brought us here today.
I just got this new office job, and it's weird working in an office because I don't know how many times I'm supposed to say hello to people throughout the day. Because I keep seeing the same people. I'm like, I saw you 45 minutes ago. Should I say hello or should I just grumble under my breath? I don't know what to do. I just made my rule. If I say hello to you 3 times on Monday, I say nothing to you on Tuesday. You're helloed out for the week. It's great. We got interns at the job. You can just tell them to do stuff. You gotta be nice, though. I had this cat fax something. I handed him a couple pages. Now I'm handing him another page. Say, hey, man, fax something for yourself, too. That's the type of guy I am. I'm a nice guy.
I was an English major when I was in college. I didn't get a lot of job interviews being an English major. I should have saw that coming. Foreshadowing. My mom thought I was gonna be a teacher because she was a teacher. I would be like a mother-son teaching duo. You know? Saving the world from dangling participles. She'd be like, Michael, are you gonna be a teacher like me? I'm like, no. I'm gonna do what I went to school for. I'm gonna be English. Would you like some tea, sir? Bloody nice lift, eh? Harry Potter. I had one interview when I finished college, but it wasn't even for like a real company. It was like one of those pyramid schemes where they try to intimidate you into working there because they're not really gonna pay you. You know? It's like, Michael, if we hire you in 10 to 12 months, you could be owning and running your own company. Does that scare you? I'm like, no, but it should scare you. I was an English major. The only thing I know about capitalism is if I see a period, the next letter should be bigger.
It ain't but one thing I'm scared of, and that's having kids, y'all. Oh, I don't want to have kids. I done had bad experiences. I used to be a substitute teacher. Yeah, that was the worst time of my damn life. I hated them kids. All of them had the devil in them. I swear they did. And the worst part about being a substitute teacher, believe it or not, was calling the roll. Because some of you parents got some crazy names for your kids. I was substitute for a kindergarten class one day, right? I was going down the road. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I said, chlamydiana? She said, present. I said, Shazika virus? She said, present. Then I ran across the name Shirley. I said, Shirley? I said, baby, you ain't but 6 years old. Why in the hell is your name Shirley? And she said, I don't know. I said, well, I don't know how to treat you. I feel like I need to show you respect. Miss Shirley, get in line, Miss Shirley. Clean your desk off, Miss Shirley. But she thought she was an old woman too, y'all. One day I told the students to bring their favorite snack to school. All the other kids brought Airheads and Skittles. What you think Miss Shirley brought? A sweet potato pie, 6 years old. Sweet potato pie. Talking about she made it from scratch. I said, you ain't know how to trace your damn name on the paper. You ain't made no pie from scratch. And she must have ate too much pie. She came to school the next day. She said, Miss Brent, my blood pressure high. Well, I sent her to the school nurse, right? She came back. I said, Miss Shirley, what the nurse say wrong with you? She said, Miss Brent, the nurse say I got dementia. I said, if you don't sit your little elderly ass down talking about you got dementia.
I absolutely love being a comedian, but before I was a comedian, I had another very cool job. I played soccer for the Puerto Rico women's national team. Thank you. It was a complete and total honor to represent Puerto Rico, represent my family, but my whole life leading up to that moment was just completely devoted to soccer. Like, I did nothing but practice. I wore nothing but uniforms. I ate nothing but pussy. Soccer. Summer soccer! Soccer all the time! I was talented. But more importantly, I worked hard. It's 90% of the game.